From the campus of Marshall University in Huntington, West Virginia. West Virginia's college news leader, the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. This is MU Report.
Hello, and welcome to this third edition of Marshall University's MU Report, a student-produced newscast of the W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications. We're glad you're joining us. I'm Ishmael Witten.
And I'm Andrea Horsley. This broadcast appears every 2 weeks, statewide here on West Virginia Public Broadcasting this fall. Now, our top story.
Recent college campus shootings have correctly and naturally made everyone aware of the dangers. The classroom massacre in Oregon is only one of a string of school shootings, and America is talking about it.
No matter what side people take, more guns to counter the threat or another solution, parents, students, faculty, and people in college towns are concerned. As Samantha Godby reports, Marshall University experienced a less serious incident recently that still reminded people just how vulnerable open campuses are.
Marshall classes came to an abrupt end in Smith Hall when approximately 4 police vehicles responded quickly to a call on Marshall University's campus by the communications building.
Yeah, we were on the 4th floor of Smith Hall in our criminal justice capstone class, and we heard skid marks. We look out the window, there's a cop flying through the yard.
911 received a call that a man with a gun was walking down 3rd Avenue. HPD responded along with MUPD. When they pulled up to the man, he ran. He was apprehended at 16th Street and 4th Avenue.
Firearm was recovered on the roof of Smith or communications building. He chucked it when he was running. There was no clip or any ammunition.
Students gathered outside Smith Hall and looked onto the events as officers searched the roof and recovered the gun.
A police officer comes walking and he's got a handgun in his hands with gloves on, so we're assuming it's evidence.
Criminal justice students Tyler and Ryan say it's interesting to see something like this firsthand.
I mean, it's interesting. You don't see that definitely every day, especially when you're sitting in class and you can actually see it happen and then walk out of class and see the results. So it's a little crazy.
We weren't scared. It's funny because we're in a criminal justice class and we see cops flying through the grass, and we were. I mean, you always got that thought in the back of your head with all the stuff that's going on now, but no.
That was Samantha Godby reporting. Marshall officials say the school does have an active shooter plan, and anyone can sign up for notifications when there's an emergency. But more and more students are candidly saying they no longer feel as safe as they once did.
Many Marshall students will tell you they worked long hours to pay for their education. But anyone who works in Huntington will soon see less take-home money now that City Council has increased the tax. As Imani Spradley reports, the user fee also affects paychecks of faculty and staff.
Marshall students say that they are naturally not thrilled by the City of Huntington's decision to raise what is called the user fee, meaning anyone who works in the city limits, including Marshall University, will have to pay $5 more per check to help pay for the city's services. And while most checks are small, the students say that they can't afford it.
I feel that we already pay enough tax on what we make as it is, and I feel like that, with me being like a college student, me working a part-time job, and me having 18 hours of classes and only being able to work a maximum of 10 hours a week, everything else. So I feel like that just makes it harder on students.
City Council meeting topic on whether or not to raise the user fee lasted a little over 2 hours, as local residents expressed their concerns to the board. The attendance of Marshall students, however, were few.
I think that the Marshall students need to come in numbers to those council meetings to really voice their opinion. We're blessed in this area to have a good, sound, diverse board at the city council level, and I think that they would listen upon the students coming to them and explaining.
Fees were set in place to make necessary adjustments to the city. That includes hiring more law enforcement and improving the roads. And while all of it sounds good, it may turn out to be a little more expensive than you think.
$5 might not seem like that much, but at the end of the year, it surely could add up. Imani Spradley, MU Report.
City leaders say user fee will give them about $3 million extra a year. They've just decided how to spend that money in the last week, but even that has to go to a vote. Many say street repairs should be a major priority, but others say other services also need attention. Marshall is moving forward in its search for a new president. The Board of Governors is hosting a second set of finalists after deciding it wanted to start over earlier this year. As my co-anchor Andrea Horsley reports, the top 3 visit campus this month.
The search is still on for a permanent university president at Marshall after the sudden and unexpected passing of the late Dr. Stephen J. Kopp last December. One professor has been with Marshall since 1984 and has experienced the past 3 presidential searches.
Well, I think it's a critical appointment. This is a very important time for Marshall University, very difficult situation in terms of the budget cuts, commitments that we've made to other programs, and we need to find a good leader.
And Dr. Palmer isn't the only one who knows exactly what he wants in a new university president.
We want a qualified person to get our education to get better, our research to get better, our faculty to feel better, and our students to match all of that. That's pretty much what I would like to see.
The university has 3 presidential candidates coming for on-campus interviews and to meet the faculty and students.
I'd like to see someone who can communicate well, both with faculty and administration, as well as our current government. I want someone who can be an advocate for us, someone who knows what's happening on campus, someone who knows what's happening in Charleston as well.
Marshall's Presidential Search Committee plans to have the 37th university president in office by the start of spring semester. Andrea Horsley, MU Report.
The interim president is Gary White. His successor will be the 37th leader since Marshall started as a college. And we'll be right back after this.
The William Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications has been a part of Marshall University's history since 1926. Today, the school offers 7 degree programs including advertising, radio and television production, sports reporting, public relations, and broadcast, online, and print journalism. SOJMC prepares students for the opportunities and challenges of the industry. Professional-oriented courses as well as hands-on learning environments help students gather real-world experience before stepping out into their field of choice. And with a vast variety of student-run clubs and organizations, students always have the chance to better their skills. The W. Page Pitt School of Journalism and Mass Communications combines classroom and hands-on learning environments to provide students with the background necessary for future employment in the field of mass communications, and continues today to produce award-winning content through a variety of majors.
Welcome back. Many students are probably not aware of the sheer number of books considered taboo or off-limits to them. As Nicole Henderson reports, librarians in Drinko recently used Banned Book Week events to highlight the dangers of restrictions on the freedom to read.
As Marshall students enter the Drinko Library this week, the first thing they see is a display of books, some popular and some not as well known. Students and librarians discuss the significance behind the collection of books.
Banned Book Week is a week in which we, I don't want to use the word celebrate, but in which we acknowledge books that have been banned or challenged someplace in the United States or in the world.
And I know that it's celebrated because, we want to acknowledge that this literature is out there and that it has something to offer to the world.
Librarians say there are a few things that have to happen before a book is actually banned.
Well, to be on that list someplace in the world or someplace in the United States, most of them are the United States, a book has been challenged, which means someone has requested that it be looked at to be banned. It has to physically be removed. And these are generally, sometimes they're public libraries or school libraries.
Students and librarians agree that opinions differ when it comes to how a banned book is chosen for the list.
It's a book that in one way or another tests the limits. So whether it's ideologically, politically, religiously, if it's pushing the boundaries and testing people's thoughts, I think that makes it banned.
These are some things that somebody, for whatever reason, whether it's a scene or a word or just an idea, that they have problems with it.
Many students only read when they're assigned a textbook in class, but what happens when they're never introduced to certain books because of the challenging material? The Banned Book Week opens up that barrier and allows students to read at their own will. Nicole Henderson, MU Report.
As part of Banned Book Week, students could access a list of so-called forbidden books and check them out easily. Some of the titles are well-known and controversial, but others, librarians say, are a bit more puzzling in their presence.
Cell phone use is almost universal, especially on college campuses, but students using iPhones could be facing extra charges without knowing it. As Brittany Morgan reports, the new iOS 9 update is causing an increase in data usage.
The new iPhone update, iOS 9, gives users access to new features they had been waiting for.
So the latest update to the iPhone software, iOS 9, landed a couple weeks ago, and there's some exciting new features, and then some features that are less exciting for others.
The update created the Wi-Fi Assist feature. Apple says the feature was designed to support a weak internet signal by switching the phone to data usage.
So that sounds good. It sounds like iOS is trying to make your internet speed better, which it is. That's a good thing. The problem is, however, is that with most cellular carriers these days, we have data caps. So you have a set amount of data that you can use per month, and if you go over that, you can be charged excessive fees.
With all the fees that come with attending college, students can gain a little peace of mind and put an end to unwanted data charges by turning off Wi-Fi Assist.
So I recently updated my phone to the new update, and I really don't like it because I don't get good Wi-Fi at St. Mary's, and it always cuts off my Wi-Fi, and now I'm being charged $40 extra a month to use my data.
Accessing your phone's settings, clicking the cellular icon, scrolling down to the bottom, and clicking the Wi-Fi Assist Off button will disable the feature. Brittany Morgan, MU Report.
Bright colored leaves, candy corn, and Halloween. It can only mean one thing. Fall is here. With temperatures falling, students are adjusting accordingly, and we sent MU Report's Ishmael Witten out to kick up some leaves.
Fall is known to some as the season of change. From leaves to wardrobe, nothing stays the same. With summer gone and winter next at bat, students are excited for what fall has to offer.
Fall is one of my favorite seasons, mainly because the leaves change colors and it's Halloween and you get to carve pumpkins, and the weather changes. You can wear boots, you can wear scarves, you can go to football games.
Though some boots are out of season, rain boots may be the perfect attire this fall. With rain present in the summer, that trend is likely to continue.
Later on this fall, and definitely as we go into the winter time, we can probably expect a greater chance of warmer temperatures along with some greater precipitation.
Outside of precipitation, this fall will consist of beautiful trees, a nice breeze, and teas? Starbucks is also engaging in the fall festivities by adding a few new items to their menu.
My favorite thing about fall would probably have to be the Starbucks menu change. One of my favorite drinks is the pumpkin spice latte.
With all the changes that fall brings, students say they're most excited about the extra hour of sleep that they'll gain thanks to daylight savings. Ishmael Witten, MU Report.
That looks like fun-ish, and Marshall students should not forget that with fall comes the end of daylight savings time. We're to set our clocks back 1 hour the 1st of November. That's all the time we have for this edition of MU Report. Our 2015-2016 schedule includes 3 more telecasts after this one, beginning in 2 weeks. We're always on YouTube, and you can follow us on social media.
Our advisor is Dr. Christopher Swindell. You can reach him at swindell@marshall.edu. West Virginia Public Broadcasting will re-televise this show Monday. For now, I'm Ishmael Witten.